Hey, and welcome in today's video. In today's video, I'm joined again by Peter, aka Mr. Tatra. He is helping me with some engine maintenance in this video. We'll be replacing the oil in the diesel regulator. We'll be installing some of the rubber transition pieces for the air intake. And we'll be replacing an oil line. We'll try to get the starter motors to be more consistent in starting, which is quite important for a motor. We also went over all the diesel lines, replaced all of the aluminium rings, and at the end of the video we'll see if the Tatra starts. Now we are uncovering the top of the engine. We're removing the cover plates, and what you see there is the diesel regulator and the lines that go to the cylinders. The diesel regulator, as this is a T2 engine of Tatra, gets the oil from the motor, so it's a motor oil that gets pumped through there. It's good to replace the oil in it by itself as well. It has a drainage hole and it has a fill-up hole, and we hope that by replacing the oil in there, the RPMs will even out. Because right now the RPMs are going up and down, and we hope that the RPMs will stay at a steady pace. So we'll remove the second cover as well, to get access to the drain hole. And what you also see is that we pointed at the hose. That hose was also very dry and cracked, so it needed to be replaced, and it transports the motor oil to the diesel regulator. Now the old oil line is removed and we're installing a new one. Something we found in a lot of the diesel lines and oil lines is that aluminium rings were used, which corrode over time when in contact with iron or metal. So what we did is we replaced all of those with copper rings as well, and we tightened all of the diesel connections. And then it was time to put in the new oil. Next, it was time to have a look at the starter motors, because as you remember from previous videos, the starter motors were not that happy when I was trying to start the Tatra. The Tatra has two starter motors, one on each side of the engine, and you have a switch in the cab, and there you can say I want to start with one starter motor or with number two, or I want to start with both of them at the same time. What we found was that if you put it in the 1 or the 2 position, only 12 volt was sent to the starter motors, and therefore the starter motor did not have enough power to start up. For now I will just start the Tatra with the 1+2 setting, so we can start it and drive it. But we did oil up the starter motor so they will come out properly, and they function. So what you see Peter doing is that he is sliding out one of the starter motors, and that one we loosened up with a screwdriver and some mechanical oil and a hammer, and then we slid it back into place. What you also see is that we are removing a cover plate on the side of the engine, and this cover plate hides a button that can be used to start the engine without a key or anything. So it's great when you're working on the engine, because then you can just press on the button and the engine will start. But you will need to have power to your truck, so you need to have the battery switch put on in case for the button to work. And yeah, we did a bit of fault finding and looking at the cables, and eventually it was time to start the truck. Next, it was time to replace the transitional pieces that take the air from the air intake to the engine. They were quite old and deteriorated, so Peter brought some new ones from the Czech Republic, and as you can see, there's quite a hole in them, so it's good to have them replaced. And now it's time for the final start and see the result of our work. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and leave any feedback in the comments.